Have you ever prayed and prayed and felt like nothing was happening? You wondered, where is God? Can he hear me? Am I just talking to the sky? And then suddenly, everything shifts. Everything falls into place. Not by chance, but because God moved. And that's what I want to talk about today. Recently, I've had this happen in my life again. The power of God's timing. It's phenomenal when it happens. And you can't not know that God had a hand in it. It's the waiting season. And you're sitting waiting. I've always heard when one door closes, another door will open. But it can be hell in the hall. When you're just waiting and waiting, it is hard. It feels like there's silence. There's closed doors. Sometimes it feels like we've been forgotten. Just, here I am, God, again. Are you listening? But here's what I've learned. Waiting doesn't mean God has abandoned you. It means he's preparing you for what's going to happen. Maybe you just weren't quite ready, and then I think, if I'm in the hall waiting, I got to keep my hand off the doorknob of the new door. I have to be able to stand and do my part and get prepared and to let go. Letting go is hard. But that's when I'm hanging on to something, it seems like that's when God doesn't work. So I've owned a hair salon for 47 years. And I changed professions when I was 54 years old. And I stopped doing hair. Well, kind of. I've always done hair. And my granny had a salon. I was raised in the salon. I've always been around it. And it's been really hard to decide what to do with my salon. So I retired 2 years ago, and I owned the property that this salon was in. And last April, I sold my commercial property. But I kept the salon, so I'm paying rent to this guy that bought my property. And I've prayed of what to do with the salon. And I had a stylist that's moving to a different salon, and she needed more clientele, and my salon's old, and we don't have the traffic or a lot like we used to. And I understand that. So I decided it was time for me to do something with it. So I posted on a Facebook page we have here in the town where I live about wanting to sell my salon. That night, this young stylist saw it. She DM'd me. The next day we talked. She looked at my salon. We worked out all the particulars. And in 2 weeks, I've sold it. Yesterday. And tomorrow, she takes it over. That's how fast God moves. And I didn't have to do anything. I don't know when this happens. I have no doubt that God had a hand in it. But one of the things I've learned is to stay faithful while I'm waiting. You have to stay faithful. You continue to pray. You continue to have faith. And the thing, seek guidance. And when you know what to do, you will know what to do. And I've been through, the first part of this year's been really hard. And there's been some things in the last couple of months that have just really, really been hard. And, there's been several things. It's a miracle. I always say, don't give up 5 minutes before the miracle. And I'm glad I didn't. And another thing to remember while you're waiting is to stay faithful. And often God doesn't answer our prayers the way we think. He's a gentleman. He is never early and he is never late. he also doesn't show up where he's not invited. So I have to invite him into my life every day. I think about the scripture Ecclesiastes 3:11. I'm going to read it. It says, let me get it right. He has made everything beautiful in its time. When God moves, he aligns everything in a way we never could on our own. And this is so true. I just got back from a conference that I spoke at this weekend, and it was so much fun. And it was just great to be with like-minded people that are wanting to better themselves and to grow and you know, be grounded in God and I don't call it self-help, and to be grounded in, you know, personal development. And it was so good. And I got to do something I have not done since I was a little girl, and that was my friend Rachel. She took me paddle boating, and we are paddle boating out on this beautiful body of water with the green, and it was just so beautiful. I was in St. Louis. It's such a great city. And, you know, the food and the fellowship, but this was a really special treat for me to go out on the water, and the weather was nice and the sun was shining. And at the end of this video, I'm going to add a little bit of footage of that. And it was such a great time. So if you're in the waiting room right now and you can keep your hands off of it, I like to tell the story. I've told this story when I was there, and I shared it with a friend this morning. But it's like God has a filing cabinet up in heaven, and it has my name on it. And one day he tells the little angel, go over to the cabinet and get the file on Rhonda Salon. We're going to sell that for her today. He sends Angel over there, and the angel flies over and goes through my filing cabinet, and he can't find the file. And he goes back to God, and he's really sad. And he says, God, we can't work on that today. Rhonda has the file. So the most important thing that I can do is to keep my hands off of it, to stay in non-resistance, and to have the faith. It is happening. And in Isaiah 60:22, it says, when the time is right, the Lord will make it happen. And when he does, you will realize why it didn't happen sooner, because his plan was better all along. Don't give up 5 minutes before the miracle. The power of God's timing. It's the right time. I'm ready to let go of all of that. And God knew that I would be prepared. So if you like what I share here, hit subscribe. Hit the like button. Share this with somebody you know that might need it. If you need some one-on-one, email me below. It's in the description box. And remember, the most important thing is to be you on purpose. I am in St. Louis in Forest Park, and as you can see, the paddle boats behind me. We are going on an adventure, paddle boating. How fun is that? I'm really excited, and I will have more to share with you later. We are out in the paddle boat. We're going to be doing this for an hour. I am getting my workout. So is she.
I'm going to be feeling it.
Hi. Hi.
Oh, I got to work on steering.
Yeah. Oh. So, it is absolutely gorgeous. It's about 75 degrees. It is beautiful. So we're going to go around this bend
There's a statue up here in the hill, and I was here in St. Louis in January and saw that, but it was cold. So this is very enjoyable. Okay. This is a little narrow area where we will paddle through, and then we will come out kind of on an open area where the statue is. It is gorgeous. We are coming up on this bridge, and you can maybe see in the tops of these trees some of the branches that were broken and ripped out. They had a tornado here in May this year that did some damage around this area, and we will be paddling through this bridge. It's just quiet. There's not really anything around.
But I think you're recording.
It's the art museum. We are fixing to go under the bridge and come out into the large area.